They want you to flip. They want you to flip the pages. They don't want you to turn the page over into the next chapter of your life. Thus says the Lord through the Spirit. You cannot flip the page. You have to turn the page, because right now the page that you are in this season of your life is right where he has you and where you need to be. He said, and they know that. He says, if you flip the page, you're going to miss something. There is something right there in the word, oh God, that you're looking at, that's going to bring you through, that's going to bring you over, that's going to raise you high. You're going to sit you into a new place. God says through the Spirit, they want you to flip the page. They want you to rush through this thing. They want you to walk away from it. They want you to think that it's not for you. But God says through the Spirit, you're going to have to focus. You're going to have to stay right there. You're going to have to look at that word again. Wherever he has you in your life, he says you're going to have to look at the season. He says you're going to have to study yourself approved. You're going to have to look at this time and discern the moment. He says, don't flip the page. He says there's some rattling going on around you. There's a lot of noise right now. Oh God, he says their eyes is up on you. He says, but you can't flip the page. You're going to have to turn the page over into the next chapter. Oh God, he says, you're going to have to pass through some things. You're going to have to wave in the water. You're going to have to tarry a moment. He says you cannot flip this page. You got to turn the page over into the next chapter, over into the next dimension, over into your greatness, over into this next moment, over into the territory that he's taking you to. Oh God, he says you got to turn that page and not flip it. He says they want you to flip it. They want you to flip it. They want you to rush through it. They want you to walk away from it. He says they want you to turn it so fast until you miss something. But God says you're going to have to turn that page. He says you're going to have to sit in silence. He says you're going to have to listen to him through the Spirit. He says you're going to have to listen to what thus says the Lord in this time, in this season. He says, don't you flip that page. He says you got to turn the page over into the next chapter. He says they want you to flip it. He says, and you can feel their eyes upon you. You hear the noise around you. He says, but you got to turn the page so you can turn in this curve that he's bringing you in, where you're going to change positions, where you're growing, where you're increasing, where you're elevating. He says you got to turn the page, not flip the page. He said he is giving them a peek into your future. That's why they are upon you. They want you to flip. They want you to flip the page. They want you to flip off on them. They want you to flip. He says, but all you need to do is turn that page over into the next chapter. Turn that page over into the next dimension, so you'll be able to go around this curve that he's bringing you through, where you'll be able to adjust your sail in this wind that you're facing. He says you got to turn the page. Don't flip it.